name of the person sitting right in front of you when you're talking in the middle of a conversation, or whether it's, I don't know, your math teacher from 7th grade, or where you put your keys last week. It kind of can get a little of a mess up in your head, as you can see here, from remembering the passwords for your social media accounts to then kind of organizing all this information. So we thought, this is not ideal. There must be a solution for us to be able to save our memories in some way and retrieve them in a way that we can retain them later when we want to. So if you can think of it, our memory is kind of a muscle. It's like any muscle in our body. We can strengthen it and enhance it. And then one of the ways that we can do this, is by hacking our memory while we sleep. So this sounds very exciting. So, well, to start with, why do we actually sleep? That's kind of the million-dollar question that everyone is trying to answer right now, scientists and research. So there are different theories that scientists came up with, and there are 3 of them mainly that we can think of. One of them, for example, is the inactivity theory, and by that is that animals and humans adapted themselves, or they evolved to sleep at night to protect themselves from predators or to not be attacked. Another one is energy conservation, for example. So when we sleep, our body is functioning less, so we consume less energy, we eat less, the metabolism rate is lower, so it saves energy overall. We even turn the lights off, so that's also saving energy. And then the restorative theory is that it's kind of a repair method, right? So our tissues can get repaired, they can fix themselves, our immune system gets boosted, so it's good overall, right? However, there was one specific theory that was very interesting and intriguing that happens specifically during sleep, and it's called memory constellation. So what does that really mean? Well, we basically have, you can think of it, if you look here, those are basically your memories. Certain things that you learn, they're kind of a short term. They are in a fixed status right now. That once you get the information, they are stored in. And then you can think of them as they are lining up in a line, and they're waiting for what we call the hippocampus. The hippocampus is an interesting part of your brain, and it's sitting there letting those memories come in. And then what happens then, essentially, is that the hippocampus will pass those memories from short-term to long-term to essentially send them to the cortex. So for this method to happen, or for this kind of transition to happen, this naturally happens, and then it specifically gets strengthened while we sleep. So we thought, okay, well, if this is, we know this, how can we actually hack this, or how can we even enhance it better? Is there a way that we can use? So what research has found recently, multiple papers that have been studying this, found a method that we call targeted memory reactivation. And by that, we mean that we basically can hack your memory or strengthen that relationship using different stimuli. And one of them could be sound. So you can make you listen to certain sounds while you sleep, and then see if you can remember things better or worse. So what I did was that I was curious. I said, okay, well, is that actually really true? Right? I was kind of skeptical as well. I was like, I don't really believe this. So I'm working with backyard brains, and what we do is we make DIY versions of replications that we see in science or in papers. And our idea or our goal is to kind of take them out of that rigid scientific or fixed status that they're in and make them be more accessible and at low cost to people. So we built a memory task. I built a memory app you can download on your phone, or you can on any device that you have. And then what you basically see that there's at first a learning phase, and then what happens is that you see 48 different images. Each image comes with a certain sound. So you will see a train comes with a sound that's attached to it. And then you play this for multiple rounds, and then before you go to sleep, the images show in the center, and then you're supposed to remember where the location was. So if you click here, for example, that's considered to be wrong. And if you click in the correct location where you remember or think the image is, that's correct. So while you do this before you sleep, then we kind of start recording you. We let you go take a nap for around 90 minutes. And then we use our equipment that the Bradford brains made. It's an EEG device that allows us to measure your EEG or read your delta waves very easily. And that by simply using 2 electrodes to do that. And then once we do that, we kind of are interested in a specific phase that we call slow wave sleep. And that's basically your deep sleep, or stage 3 of your non-REM. And that's when we start seeing delta waves that are characterized by they have low frequencies, and you can see them, they are the big ones on the screen. And we do this in real time. And then once we see that, okay, now we detect that you are in this stage of sleep, we want to start cueing those sounds. So the trick here is that we basically, there were 48 images, each image comes with a sound, so there are 48 sounds. So we only cue half of them, we only cue 24 sounds, because we want to see the difference, right? And then the other 24 are basically new sounds, or baseline sounds that you've never heard of before, okay? And then you wake up, you play the memory game again. And then what we found is that you actually perform this interesting graph. So what does this mean? So we found that basically there's a general trend that proves that you perform better on the ones that were cued versus the ones that were not. And it's kind of more of an idea that you forget less. You tend to forget less more than you actually remember better. And then with the subject that we tested, this basically shows you that the negative one, it kind of measures the distance between where you clicked, where the user clicked, and then where the original image appeared. So the closer you clicked, the more accurate you are, and then the smaller the distance is. And then change is in negative because you performed better after sleep compared to before. So that is why it's negative, and it's good. And the more positive that was for the uncued, it means that that was actually a worse performance. So it matched, right? It matched the theory, it matched what we saw in papers, using this very low-cost and kind of DIY version using our methods and our devices. So we were very happy. So where can we take this beyond this experiment? Like, why is this valuable? Why did we do that? Ideally, we want to see this, okay, can we now actually study while we sleep, right? This could be a crazy idea, but can you basically, any users, students in classrooms, can they download this app, buy this kit that we have, and basically do this study on their own, right? You can start customizing the images that you see. You can put some flashcards, for example, put them, or target them with specific sounds or music that you like to listen to, and test this to see if you can have it work on yourself, right? Or test it with other students, with your friends. So it's kind of a wild idea. It does sound like it's science fiction, but it does work. And then we're hoping to get this into the classroom more, to have it be sold with kits that we can teach students about the idea of sleep, memory, constellation, and how well that all works. Thank you so much.